Imagine your money shrinking in your wallet. That is exactly what inflation does. We will unravel the mystery of inflation in a way that anyone can understand. Get ready to become an inflation expert. Inflation is the general increase in prices over time, causing the purchasing power of money to fall. Think of it as your money becoming less valuable. A simple example is the price of a loaf of bread. 50 years ago, it might have cost 50 cents. Today, that same loaf could cost $3 or more. That is inflation in action. To truly understand inflation, we need to start with its basic concepts. At its core, inflation is about supply and demand. When there is more money in circulation than goods and services available, prices tend to rise. This happens because people have more money to spend, but the same amount of things to buy. There are several causes of inflation. One major cause is an increase in the money supply. When a government prints more money, each existing dollar becomes less valuable. Another cause is demand-pull inflation. This occurs when demand for goods and services exceeds supply, driving prices up. Cost-push inflation happens when the cost of producing goods increases, forcing businesses to raise prices to maintain profits. Inflation comes in different types. The most common is creeping inflation, a gradual increase in prices over time. This is what most countries experience in normal economic conditions. Galloping inflation is more severe, with prices rising rapidly. Hyperinflation is the most extreme form, where prices skyrocket uncontrollably. Zimbabwe experienced this in 2008, with inflation rates reaching millions of percent. The effects of inflation are far-reaching. For individuals, it erodes purchasing power. Your savings buy less over time. For businesses, it can lead to uncertainty in planning and investment. On a national scale, high inflation can lead to economic instability and reduced international competitiveness. Measuring inflation is crucial for economic policy. The most common measure is the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. This tracks the average price of a basket of goods and services that a typical household buys. Central banks and governments use this information to make decisions about interest rates and economic policies. Throughout history, there have been notable periods of inflation. The Weimar Republic in Germany in the 1920s is a famous example of hyperinflation. More recently, Venezuela has experienced severe inflation, with prices doubling every few weeks at its peak. Controlling inflation is a key responsibility of central banks. They use various tools, including adjusting interest rates. Higher interest rates make borrowing more expensive, which can slow down spending and cool an overheating economy. Governments can also use fiscal policies, like reducing spending or increasing taxes, to combat inflation. Inflation behaves differently in various economic contexts. In a growing economy, some inflation is often seen as a sign of health. However, in a stagnant economy, inflation can be particularly harmful, a situation known as stagflation. To wrap up, understanding inflation is crucial for making informed financial decisions. It affects everything from your grocery bill to your retirement savings. Remember, inflation is not inherently good or bad, but its effects can be significant. We have covered a lot of ground, from the basics of what inflation is, to its causes, types, and effects. We have explored how it is measured, looked at historical examples, and discussed methods for controlling it. Armed with this knowledge, you are now better equipped to understand economic news and make informed financial decisions. Thank you for watching this comprehensive guide to inflation. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for more informative content on economics and finance.